when you're dreaming from a meal town.
Action.
What's your name?
What's going on? My name is Beedie.
How'd you come up with the name Beedie?
I'm not even sure. It's an uninteresting story and a small footnote, but it came from a nickname that people used to call me, and shortened it to initials, spelled it out. Beedie. What's up?
Okay, and where are you from?
From Point Breeze, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from the East End.
What was it like growing up in east side of Pittsburgh for you?
It was interesting, man. I love Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's my home. I've also lived in a couple other places too, outside of Maryland. I spent some time in New York when I was real young. But Pittsburgh is like my home, and it's my heart.
When did you move to Pittsburgh?
I moved here when I was 13, but my mom grew up here. Whole family's from here, so like I was here every Christmas, every summer and shit. So it's like my only home base my whole time. You know what I mean? There was a constant change in Pittsburgh. So
what type of things were you into growing up?
All types of stuff, I guess. Running around, riding bikes, hip hop music, skateboarding, music of all types. Just at an early age, had a big impact and influence on me. You know, just regular shit, video games, N64.
What type of other music did you listen to growing up besides hip hop?
I mean, when I was younger, mostly hip hop and rap and shit. But in like early high school, I got into like some like classic rock and stuff like that. And just really everything, like old school, like 70s, like funk and soul, R&B music. Pretty much like, my grandma's an opera singer as well, so she put me down with a lot of classical music and stuff like that at like a very early age. Like I used to play piano, play guitar for a short amount of time. I taught myself how to play bass guitar. I'm not very good at any of those though. But yeah, man. So I just all types of music, man, has been an influence on me overall.
Your family does something with the Pittsburgh Opera, right?
Yeah, it's my grandmother. She's Mildred Miller is her opera name, I guess you could say, her stage name. It's my grandma.
Did that have an impact on you musically growing up?
I mean, like it did, but no, you know what I mean? Like I guess like she's like an opera star. She's a star in the opera world. So like it's kind of interesting. Like when I was a kid, I didn't realize that, but like when I got older and like got into music myself, really started doing music, and then, you know, learned a little bit about what it's like to be an adult in life and shit, and then kind of like, you know, had a realization one day like, damn, my grandma's like a diva, she's like a star. So it's pretty crazy. So
who were some of your favorite rappers growing up?
Growing up, I probably listened to a lot of like Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, a lot of East Coast stuff. Like I got into Kanye West like when he started coming around, a lot of stuff like that. I also liked a lot of underground shit like Raucous Records, Black Star, you know what I mean, when I was younger. Obviously, you know, later on, like in high school, Wiz Khalifa, G.O.V., that was the type of shit we were bumping. So it's been like also, you know, like a lot of Southern shit like UGK, also Outkast, Weezy, you know, was a big part of my high school years.
When did you first start rapping, and what made you first start rapping?
I don't know, man. I'm just an artist. Like I like to express myself in art. So like, I mean, I used to draw. Like I try to express myself artistically in every way I can. So like sometimes that's rapping, sometimes that's making beats, sometimes I'll just doodle or something. But just overall, like I guess I always thought it would be cool if I was a rapper, you know. But like I didn't start taking it seriously, and like when I was 18, like probably like a week after I turned 18, I got kicked out of my parents' crib and I didn't have nowhere to go. I was staying at my boy Bill's crib, and shit, man, I just made a decision. It was like I kind of kept it like to myself then, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna just focus hard on this music. I had already made a couple tracks and shit, but I was like, I'm gonna do this stuff. I'm gonna put my heart in it and my head in it, and made it my passion, I guess.
Talk about what the hip hop scene was like in Pittsburgh when you first started rapping.
When I first started rapping, I'd say when I first started doing shows and stuff, I mean, you know, we were doing entry level gigs and whatnot, but it was a different time in Pittsburgh hip hop. This was like before Wiz had done too much. He had like one mixtape out, and
What year?
This was like '07 was the first time I think I did a show, and he might have had a couple projects out, I'm not sure, but at least when I first started rapping and like, you know, trying to hop in ciphers and shit, people would look at me funny, and then I rap and they'd be like, oh, dude's actually nice. But you know, I guess that's just part of putting in the groundwork. But yeah, Shadow Lounge is a place that, you know, is no longer in Pittsburgh, but was definitely like an early, like, I guess you could say, like, place where I got my training wheels on and learned how to rap in a cipher and polish up my skills and shit. So it was cool, man. Everybody there had an interesting vibe. It was different back then, man. Like, but shit's cool now too, because for that to end, it brought new opportunities to begin in Pittsburgh, and you know, you gotta fucking cycle the energy, man.
What are some of the big differences between then and now?
Just like the overall community, like the unity of people, being able to just go somewhere and know you're gonna see a bunch of people. Like, you kind of have to make plans, I feel like, to see certain people that I used to see all the time on a regular basis. And some of those people, I don't even have their contact information. So, you know, there's a little less community maybe, like, but it's still, you know, it's just the start of like a new beginning. So there's like things that haven't come to full fruition yet that maybe will in 5 years or more. But, you know, these are the beginnings right now. So it's like, you know, we're standing at the top, the edge of a big slope on a fucking graph. You can't really see that slope because it's in the future. But it's, yeah, man, it's just going to keep growing.
So when you first started, you were in a rap duo called The Ill Spoken with Mac Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And can you talk about how that came about?
Yeah, shout out to Mac. That was from my early age of rapping. He's my younger brother's homie, so our families grew up together. Parents were homies from an early age as well, and I guess, like, you know, because he's a little younger than me too, so like at the time when we first started rapping, like, he was young. It was noticeably young. We're both adults now, so it's different. But when he was 15 and I was 19, it was like dude was nice though, you know what I mean? So it was cool. Like, we both just saw each other's passion in rap and our goals in music. So, you know, it was like a no-brainer to link up, and, you know, we just had like a cool music connection from an early on starting point. So
How did you guys come up with the name The Ill Spoken?
actually, I don't know. Matt came up with that, so it was cool though. I fucked with it. I think he wanted to like name a song that, and I was like, yo, we should call that The Group. He was like, all right.
I think you guys said in the recent song you guys did something about you guys battling over the internet with people. Can you talk about that story?
Yeah, that's a story from the depths. Holy shit. All right. Are you talking about the Canadian thing?
I think so.
Oh shit.
There's a clip of you guys.
All right, so there was a dude who had the same name as Mac, as his old name. I won't even say what it was, but you know, before he changed his name to Mac Miller, and I guess he didn't like the fact that, you know, Mac had posted some videos on YouTube rapping, and dude kind of like was like came at him or something, so we kind of just like made a battle video back to like diss him, but we thought it was really corny and shit. We were just having fun with it.
So what made you decide to go and have a solo career?
Shit, I don't know. I'm just an artist, man. Like, it's just, I have an expression for myself. Being in a group is cool. Like, I was in a group with John Quest, Varsity Squad, for a while too, and you know, that's still my brother, just like Mac. But you know, at the end of the day, I was a solo artist first. I'm a born alone, I'm a die alone. So I gotta, not to be so cold, but yeah, that's, you know, it's just they're looking at me like, whoa. No, but it's just, you know, I got shit to say sometimes. So sometimes, like, I love to collaborate and have like a group expression, like a collective expression, and sometimes I just want to just do it for myself. So I think anyone who's an artist can understand that.
Talk about your transition into a solo artist and the difference in the creative process between like always collaborating with someone and then to just be on your own.
I like collaborating a lot. Like, it's cool because you can both, you know, kind of like give your strengths. Like, a good collaboration is giving your strengths to a project collectively. So, you know, like, whenever I do a track with another rapper, or in some cases where I get to like build a track from scratch with a producer. You can really, like, certain ideas can come about, and it's not like, you know, it's just whoever can put the best idea first forward, and that's, you know, the collaborative spirit, I guess. It's something that's just different. I like doing shit by myself too, because, you know, you just, from start A to start B, I don't gotta fucking talk about what I'm doing. I don't have to go over it with someone else. I can just go in and do it, and it can just be done. So it's really just different and fun.
You filmed a lot of videos with Rex Arrow. I think I heard you were one of the first people they did a rap video for, like, if not his first.
Fun fact, I was the first HD video that he ever did.
Really?
I think it was his third video
What
that he
video
ever
was
did. It's not even online anymore. But he did a lot of videos for me. I probably worked on like maybe 7 projects total with Rex.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. I love his work, man. I'm a huge fan. It's a fucking pleasure working with him every time.
The Beat Bully album was a big moment. Can you talk about the concept behind that album?
Yeah, man. The Beat Bully album was definitely a cool moment in time for me. Like, I put out like a bunch of homemade projects, more or less, that I considered homemade before that. But I worked on that one, you know, for a while on the side. And then when I put it together, I was like, all right, you know, I feel like I'm ready. I'm polished as a MC and an artist, and anything that I did up until that point, it's not like I wanted to, like, you know, forget about it or, you know, dismiss it, but it was like, yo, I want this to be like my first entry officially to, you know, the world. So anything before that, if you heard it, you're very lucky too, because it's kind of rare now. But that was like I wanted to start from square one and just really just start at the roots of hip hop and do something like, you know, even though I had experimented with all these other sounds before that, that was a moment where I was like, all right, let me just like take it back to the essence and, you know, grow. I wanted to just grow a little on each one. So that was kind of like my square one, or my root, if you could say.
After doing the solo run for a little bit with Beat Bully,
Right.
you linked up with John Quest.
Linked up with John Quest actually before the Beat Bully. So we were already working on the Varsity Squad album while I was working on the Beat Bully. But we just took a long time on that album, I guess you could say. So it didn't even come out until 2012, where I was already dropping Above the Weather.
What brought you and John Quest together?
Just like vibing together and just overall, you know, similar vision for music. I just fuck with his style too. So like I heard some of his tracks, and, you know, we knew each other just from doing shows and knew him from around. And he was like, oh, I'm from Point Breeze. I was like, oh, I'm from Point Breeze too. That's crazy. I never met you. But, you know, we vibed on the music tip and on that tip, and, you know, it's like my brother. So it was cool, man. Like we worked on a lot of songs together. So we put what we thought at the time were the best ones together. Put out a pretty cool album called New School Boom Bap, and yeah, man, just kept on fucking rocking with it, dog.
Why did you guys call it Varsity Squad?
That was in hindsight maybe not even the best choice for a group, because obviously that's like a little generic of a name, but it was something at the time to work, because we were just having fun just on the circuit, just like killing shows. And, you know, we felt like it was like in the rap game, we're the varsity, not these little leaguers. So it was like kind of like playing off of all that. We just thought like the branding of it would be like fun to play off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we just kind of rocked with that for like the album. The album cover was like a notebook, composition notebook. You open it up and all the album credits were written inside the notebook. Back cover was like the backside of the notebook. It was cool, man.
What made you want to do a group again after being in a group and then going solo?
Really, it was just money. To tell you the truth, we were just like struggling artists. Like, hey yo, if we like split studio time and like split costs to travel, because we weren't getting paid for shows back then, but we were getting opportunities to like travel and shit, so we could throw down on a fucking ticket and throw it down on the telly. Mm-hmm. So it was just easy at the time just to like put our budget together. It was for a good reason too, man. Like some great songs were made. Great friendship too.
Why after that was there only one Varsity Squad album, then you went solo again?
It's partially just the urge to create. Just, you know, like I said, going back to like being an artist, like I just have shit I want to say that sometimes only I can say, because you know, like doing a collaboration with John or with Mac or with anyone else should be a collective opinion. I can't just go off on my own tangent. It's got to work for the songs that both of us can kind of like stay in the same box. But also just, you know, John, he kind of had to move on to the family. He got 3 kids, he got a wife. Salute him, God bless him. And you know, he's working on a new project right now. I made a beat on there. I'm gonna be rapping on there, so look out for that.
Around the same time as Varsity Squad, you started promoting Beedie Land. Can you talk about that and what that is and how that came about?
That's basically my website, beedieland.com. If I could plug that real quick. And it's just kind of a play off of just like, you know, just being in my own world. Beedie Land. It's also a play off of like, you know, Mario World, I guess, in a way. You know, it's kind of just like being in La La Land. Just doing my own thing is really what the root of it is supposed to be. So if you're in Beedie Land, you're going with my flow. But it's also just I just thought it was like a cool brand for like the hub of my music, beedieland.com.
So when you dropped the Above the Weather album, at that time I feel like you went kind of from having like a very classic hip hop sound to more like a psychedelic, spacey type thing on that album. Mm-hmm. Was that like a conscious thing you did, or was that kind of just like...
It was kind of conscious, but it's also just unconsciously making music, and like that was just where my head was at. But at the same time, like I said at one point when I made the Beat Bully, it was like I wanted to start from square one at the root and just keep adding on and building a little bit, because like honestly some of the songs on my new album, you could say it's even more progressive with that same movement from Beat Bully to Above the Weather to Counterculture. And you could honestly look back at some of my music I was making before the Beat Bully. I revisited and I was surprised, like, hey, this is crazy. Like, this is the type of shit I'm kind of making right now. But obviously a way more updated, better version. But, you know, some of the similar sounds and vibes that I was playing with back then. So, you know, I don't like to keep myself in a box. I like to try to just, you know, make music that captures a feeling and an emotion. And like, I'm not a fucking dull person. I got a lot of energy, so sometimes that emotion just changes with the times.
Recently you made a lot of big moves. You had this song with Wiz. Mm-hmm. How did that come about? That
came about just I guess as a blessing through linking with him. I don't know, it was cool, man. Wiz basically did the song with me, shot a video with me for it, brought me out on stage to perform it with him in Penn State. So it was really cool, man, like for him to reach back to Pittsburgh and show the Berg some love like that, because I guess he, you know, saw my vision and saw how it relates to his vision of you know, music and shit. So, you know, I've looked up to Wiz for a long time too. So obviously, you know, from the start, like I said earlier, back in high school, he was, you know, leading the pack, basically carrying the torch for Pittsburgh hip hop since like an early time when I was starting. So it's been great to like watch his progress and follow along as a fan first, and then, you know, for him to collaborate with me was really cool. You know, it was a cool personal moment, but also, you know, we made a great song too. So.
And you guys met before that?
Yeah, they're just around and shit, like a dap here or there, but no, we never really kicked it. Actually, my old manager, Chad Glick, it was his first manager, which is how we kind of, you know, came to met and like vibe with each other. So it was cool, man. Like, he showed a lot of love for sure. So shout out to Wiz, Taylor Gang.
You've been releasing a lot of songs lately for the Counterculture album. And a lot of them have been making the Billboard hip hop chart.
Yes.
Can you talk about what that's been like for you?
Yeah, man. So it's been pretty crazy, honestly. Like, I mean, just to see that shit. Didn't expect it to happen at all, but somebody pointed it out to me. For the first time it happened when I dropped the song Count on Us, and we just been following suit ever since then. So it's pretty cool, man. People are sharing my songs on social media to the point where it's making Billboard take notice.
Yeah, like you said, how you went kind of the progression from To Above the Weather, and now these songs on Counterculture are more like even kind of getting like a little EDM feel to them.
For sure.
How did that start happening? That's
kind of what I was referencing almost when I was talking about just like my evolution of experimentation before the Beat Bully. Just like I played with a lot of EDM type of shit. Like I rapped over like Crystal Castle's beats and never released them. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean that shit that came out. I did that when it came out, so that was like around the time How High the mixtape came out, and people didn't even know that. But you know, it's just music. I just love all music. I don't really like to label it EDM. It's just if I fuck with it, if it makes me feel something, then you know that's what I'm gonna roll with.
You put together a tour recently to promote a new album. What's that been like?
It's been cool, man. We did a couple dates. We got it's pretty spread out. We got a couple more in May and a bunch in June, and just running out there with my DJ Bamboo, and also we got Norman Dean, Pittsburgh artist, on a few of the dates with us. So we just trying to fucking show you guys the vibe for counterculture, man. Just go out there. People are coming out and fucking showing love, man. It's a blessing.
Talk about your relationship with DJ Bamboo and how he became your tour DJ.
Bamboo is a DJ who I've known and been a fan of and respected his craft for like a few years now. I'm not even sure how we met, to tell you the truth, but we just like mutual friends and being on the scene. And like one time I just asked him like, yo, you trying to like DJ for me at this show? Because, you know, a couple times he might have been DJing a show. I like had to hand him the flash drive when I didn't have my own DJ at the gig with me. And we just vibe well, man. It's the homie. So shout out to Bamboo. We've been working real hard, man, getting this fucking crazy set together. A lot of new, honestly, since I've been working with him, it's just, you know, he pushes me to upgrade my shit too. So that's one thing I really like about him, is I trust his judgment and his opinion on what sounds good and what doesn't sound good too. So
who are some of the main artists from Pittsburgh that you collaborate with?
I don't even know. I feel like I've worked with a lot of people. Anyone I work with, I respect their craft and I fuck with their music. More than likely I fuck with them as human beings. But yeah, like I feel like if I haven't worked with you yet, but I do fuck with you on those levels, then you're gonna get at me.
Who would you say you worked with? The couple people you worked with the most?
I mean, obviously John, Mac. I mean, shit, I got over 50 songs with both of them, at least. And then, I mean, done a few tracks with Hubs. That's the homie. Pretty much like Ghosty, did a lot of tracks with him. Franchise and Vin Radio, excuse me. Vintage Radio. Bring it back. Yeah, the Come Up Boys, those are the family, man. Eastern Empire from a long time ago. Still trying to get in the lab with a couple people. Norman Dean, Mars Jackson, people who I fuck with. Shit, I can't even think off top, but shout out to all you guys.
Yeah, you just mentioned the East End Empire. You talk about what that was and that whole movement.
So the East End Empire was /is a unit of Pittsburgh artists, where we felt like when we were starting out, we were like a new generation of hip hop in Pittsburgh. And we wanted to, you know, kind of umbrella our talents or our reach to, you know, kind of just show people what we thought our vision of Pittsburgh hip hop should and could be. So that included myself and Mac, who were the ill-spoken at the time, Franchise, Vinny Radio, Ghosty, Primavera Vills, Palermo Stone, who used to be known as Tip the Ill Spit. And yeah, we all, you know, fucking just vibe together, man. That's family for life. So
who are some of the main producers from Pittsburgh that you work with?
On my new album, Counterculture, I have production from DJ Huggy, Jackson Card, J Card, my dude Drew Tang, a lot of dudes that you know, I haven't worked with before, which is pretty cool. Sledgeron's on there. This dude, Hot Track, who's actually from Belgium. He's not even from Pittsburgh, but he's very dope. He did a few tracks on Counterculture. That's what I've been working with lately, man. But I try to work with anyone who just has a good sound. Really, I don't take judgment on trying to do big name collaborations. Like, that's cool and all, but it's all about the music at the end of the day.
Why do you think Pittsburgh hasn't reached, the scene here hasn't reached a level other cities like Chicago and like Atlanta have reached recently?
I mean, we're just a young hip hop scene, man. Like, Chicago had Common in the 90s. It had Kanye West. You know, it had all these developed artists. Like, it's just further along. Like, we really had our first national artists come within the last like 5 years into the national spotlight. So I mean, give it like 20 years, you know what I mean? I think we'll be killing every city. No offense to anyone else, but there's some unique and raw shit here.
What type of things do you think people in Pittsburgh should start doing to get the scene to reach that level?
We just gotta keep building, man. There's nothing else to it. Just keep, I mean, sure, unity will help. There's power in numbers. I wish more people understood that, because it really is true. But at the same time, like, we got to do our own thing too, and we got to just keep on building and growing, man. Like, art just is a constant cycle of change. So, you know, it'll get there. Just keep on working it.
Talk about the Shadow Lounge and the importance that it had to the Pittsburgh hip hop scene.
Shadow Lounge was cool, man. Like, it was just a interesting and unique vibe, man. You couldn't recreate it even if you tried. Just from the ownership to the people who were there to just the neighborhood, it just was a fucking, you know, like a melting pot or like a hodgepodge of just crazy shit, you know. MCs, singers, break dancers, like it's shit you don't see anymore really, but also just cool ass people. A lot of free drinks maybe contributed to the closing of it, who knows, but it was just cool, man. It was where people could go and just like hop in a fucking cypher, rap, or just chill out, grab a drink, and just be among friends, and you know you could just be good there. Doesn't happen a lot anymore.
What would you say might be your favorite memory from the Shadow Lounge?
I think my favorite memory from the Shadow Lounge was actually at the Beat Bully release party, because that shit was crazy. It was just, I remember like finishing and just like running back downstairs to the green room and just sitting down and having a little moment. I was like, damn, that shit went really well. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite moments. Also, at the Varsity Squad release party, Raekwon showed up, and that shit was pretty cool. We got a little flick with him and shit. I was like, oh, it's nuts. Raekwon's at my release party. Shout out to Raekwon. You remember that shit? Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Like, Raekwon here, Raekwon.
Yeah, everyone was whispering it and telling us too. We were like, oh, okay, dope.
Talk about the importance of places like Time Bomb to the Pittsburgh hip hop scene.
Yeah, man, without Time Bomb, Pittsburgh as a city or its hip hop scene, music scene in general, would not be where it's at. Brick has the store owner put on so many rappers that influenced, you know, the climate over the years of the scene. It's just crazy, man. Everything they've done, from putting me on shows at an early age, you know, to pushing, like, you know, if it wasn't for Brick, I wouldn't have known probably about GOV or any of these other dudes, because we used to go there buy mixtapes. It's a little different now just because of the fucking digital era, you know. There's not mixtapes there anymore. It's more like aimed towards clothes and back to its roots of graffiti and stuff. But you know, just really the events that they've put on over so many years opened up the doors for dudes like Daily Bread, those are my homies who I grew up with, to, you know, have a platform for, you know, an even new generation of Pittsburgh. So it's been cool, man.
What's your relationship been like with Daily Bread?
It's funny because two of my best friends started that company. So shout out to Alex and Bill for killing it, man. From the designs to the quality of the clothes to the events they put on. They've been very, very, very supportive of my music, posting on their Twitter and, you know, letting me hold release shows and parties in their fucking store, all that stuff.
What type of advice would you give to younger rappers from Pittsburgh that are just starting out and don't really know how to get into the scene?
Rap to people. I don't know. Don't just like walk up to people and rap, but, you know, just like, don't be that like Facebook rapper who just like posts their song and like no one listens to it. You gotta fucking talk to people, communicate, interact with people. Groundwork still counts. You know, it's not about like, yo, check my mixtape out. It's more about, hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. Like, you know, be respectful. I don't know, shit. Just keep working too. Be good. Don't suck.
Talk about your writing process and how do you typically make a song from start to finish?
It's different every time. I don't ever have like one set way to do it, but I like hearing the music first. I don't like to just like have anonymous verses for like beats. I like having the source music as complete as possible, so I can really like bend my words around it to like really fit the best way. But I usually try to, you know, get that down. Sometimes I'll even think about just the overall end product before I even start rapping too. Like, how's it gonna be? What's it gonna be about? What's the concept? What are the angles I'm gonna take? And then I start figuring out like the cadences and the delivery, the way I'm gonna rap over it, and then I put the words in place usually. But sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes I'll start and I'll just be rapping, have like 4 bars, and then that doesn't even get placed on a beat until like a month later. Who knows? It's different every time. You just gotta roll with the creativity. Like, whenever it comes, don't fucking trying to spell it out too much too, I feel like gives people a creative block. Like, it's creativity. It's something you can't grasp. You just fucking do it, you know? Writer's block doesn't exist if you like live in that box.
What does real hip hop mean to you?
It's tough because real hip hop is such a like generic word, and people, you know, think it's like this old school style or whatever. But to me, real hip hop is anything that is real, is that you can say, that shit made me feel this, that shit is honest, or that shit is truthful. Like, you know, real hip hop, I don't know, it's hard to say really, because I don't like to say what's real and what's hip hop. That's putting too many labels on it. Like, I think that if it's good, it's good. Sure, like, there's rap, there's hip hop, but I don't like to try to split the difference too much. I'm not like into black metal and death metal and all this shit. Like, it's not like that, you know? I don't like to fucking put all these labels on stuff. Like, I like to just fucking go straight for the core of the emotion.
What has been the highlight of your career thus far?
Shit, I don't even know, man. Every day is like a new highlight or something. I don't know. It's like the last memory is the best one.
What's been some recent highlights?
I mean, it's been cool seeing these Billboard looks and just seeing people respond to my new songs that I put out. But, you know, just as an artist, that's always like changing, and you know, next week I'll probably say something else. But yeah, just like, I love just being in front of a crowd and just getting in the zone and just performing. I don't know, that's like always my highlight. Just whenever people feel the music, you know, you can go out and just touch someone on the shoulder and, you know, rap, and people fuck with it. I don't know. What's
something people don't know about you that you want them to know, like a fun fact?
I love cartoons and I love movies.
What are some of your favorites?
My favorite cartoon is Adventure Time, by far.
Why?
I just love like the I don't even know. I'm gonna have like an hour conversation about that. No. I love like the existential, like, you know, topics that they talk about, and just like the spirituality of it. I also love just the idea of like the post-apocalyptic world that they created, and how deep it is, and how it's, you know, like light on the surface but deep under the surface if you dig into it. That's the type of shit that gets my attention. Also, like, my favorite director is Stanley Kubrick. So he kind of like has a similar way of presenting in a way. It's like, you know, kind of simple if you want to take it as a simple message, but then if you look deeper, you know, you can find all these layers.
What movies by him are your favorites?
I mean, Full Metal Jacket, which is honestly one of his more straightforward films, is probably my favorite by him, just because it's so fucking funny. But shit, I like that one. I like all of his movies, man.
What's next for Beedie?
What's next is Counterculture, the Counterculture tour, and who knows what else, man. We just gonna keep on trying to create opportunity. That's it.
Dope. All right, thank you.
My man. What's good, y'all? It's Beedie. Check this out. Ready for war, got my shooter bent for dead again. I freestyle for rep. It's the Pittsburgh representative, still trying to build an empire. Started from the east to expand. My only plan is I got this, I'm obese. Started slow so you can catch on. When life ain't never let you skip a lesson, you grow thick skin and learn to press on. Been skipped in line, I'm trying to eat like a mess hall. And girl, I'm trying to kick it to score, but I ain't got mesh on. Create my opportunity. Drop gems like lost jewelry. You chasing a rat, that's tomfoolery. I'm animated. Even my hands will tell you I have to make it. How you claim you a alpha male signing affidavits? They all wanna get a dab for me, cause I'm actually lapping these bastards and rapping with mastery. Put me last and still trying to go after me. Stand on my own 2 feet, walking like Fashion Week. Or push weight like ball shift to up for this feeling and deal with these hardships. I'm up in the stars, bitch, I'm one of a kind. But I'm coming down, so I'm coming for mines. Steady hand, no need for a steady can. Betty go ham, you see me, I'm on a lamb. I ain't no wolf in sheep's clothing, but I seen the fabric of this industry, it's interwoven. Keep my ego coasting. It's Beedie.